Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We got our conversions for the 4440 hydraulic outlets. That's what I just put down. But we do have a project in the shop at the moment. We have our 1,000-gallon nurse tank in here. I'm getting this thing ready because this is going to be shuttling 28. We're trying to convert everything to 100% liquid nitrogen. It's a little bit more of an efficient nitrogen, and using side dress and the planter, you can put it on, put a little less on than you would dry, because you're on the planter, you're putting it within 2 inches of the seed. With the sprayer, it's going to be going right along the stalk. So we're working on this. This had a bad leg in the back. This is a dual draw tank. It's got a big baffle in the middle, and so the one went bad in the back, and we figured since that one went bad, we don't want this one going bad mid-season, so we got them both out. It's got this fancy, if I can remember where I put it last night, it's got a anti-vortex draw on it. So we're going to try and get a couple of these again. We could just replace the gaskets, but I always feel more comfortable replacing the whole unit, especially since I don't think this one has ever been done. Looks like I gotta swap buckets and empty out. It had a little bit of liquid in it, and then it froze. Had some 1034O in this last spring, and then I used it for a water tank, I think, for 1 or 2 fills with the sprayer. So it did have some slush in the bottom of it. This leg is gonna have a jumper hose up to the next leg, and then there's a short hose that hooks up to our pump that will go here. I share pumps with the sprayer set up over there, so that pump will be mounted on here. And then there's going to be short hose. That one will come off of where this was. This was the jumper hose going between the legs, and then this one was coming from this front leg up to here. And then this green hose was hooking onto that cam lock and coming up to the pump. And then we had a 15-foot-ish hose that wrapped around the side. We're going to try and add 12 more feet so that we have almost 30 feet of hose on this, so that we can reach the sprayer. We don't have to fold up the Y drops to fill the sprayer. So we're going to try and get that on. And then, but today's project, we got to get those anti-vortex things, get them installed. Hopefully we can track down hose and fittings and everything, but we might not be able to right away. We're gonna get everything ordered for that, and then it can go out of the shop for now. And then the other thing I have to do, I'm working on a shoop order for all the tillage and planting stuff, and I have to get one of these closing wheel arms taken apart so I can figure out which bushing is in here. It'd be simple, it'd just be a 7200 max merge row unit, but it was the steel tails here, and we updated these to cast, which I think the 1750s or might have been the 1760s, I think, were the first planter to have these on it. So a little more tricky to track down parts, but we're still going to get it. We have a few units that have just too much side-to-side slop. That one's not really one of them. There's one. But that equates to bad emergence, and we don't want bad emergence. We're going to get those tuned up. I got those parts and everything ready for the corn planter. Hopefully we can get them ordered here soon. I got the right bushing and everything figured out. But we just got back from FDS in Maurice. That's Fertilizer Dealer Supply. And we got everything we need, hopefully, to plumb this tender up. All our fittings are in this box. Got a box full of fittings there. Clamps, all that fun stuff. And then I got this that I gotta replace on the end of the hose. We have this homemade adapter going from 2-inch up to 3-inch cam lock, because that's what the sprayer is. The sprayer is all plumbed up for 3-inch. So this was a temporary solution last year because we couldn't find anything to do that. I found one place online that sold a 2-inch pipe thread male 2-inch male pipe thread to a female 3-inch cam lock That's this right here. This is about 50 bucks. It was back ordered. It didn't get here till about July last year, so I didn't use it. This homemade one obviously works just fine, but we are gonna replace it. Obviously every one of these fittings causes some drag and we lose a few gallons per minute off of that, but we'll put this on. They'll be a little bit easier to handle and all that jazz. So, but this is the hose that comes off the pump. This is the discharge hose for this, and it wrapped around here, went through that hook, and then bungee corded right here. This is where it ended. So we have a 25-foot line of 2-inch. This is basically the same stuff as the Bumblebee hose, but this is rated for suction and discharge. Apparently that is just rated for suction, which we've always used it as a discharge hose too. It works, but this stuff was actually cheaper. And we got this. That's gonna run everything underneath. We have 2 tank legs to connect, and then run up to the pump, which sits here. And then what's left will run from the back of the tank up to here. I'm gonna mount like a cam lock right here, just a blank one that I can hook the hose to when we're done with it and keep it up out of the way. And then I think that will work good. I gotta wait for Dad to get here so that I can get the last leg out. It was just spinning, but once he gets here, we'll get that out and we can keep going. They didn't have a real good anti-vortex inlet like these ones were that was on it. It just kind of breaks the flow up so that you don't get that swirl of air coming down through the top of the tank. But we did get these that will go in the tank, and then you have an outlet. So these will supposedly stop the vortex and keep our gallons per minute high. So we'll see if they actually do what they're supposed to. And then off of those, we go to the coupler, and then a T. Off of both sides of the T, we take hose barbs. The back one is going to get a hose barb, and then there is a valve that I had on the back for draining. I can also load from the back of the tank without using the pump up front if I wanted to, so that's what that's all there for. And then out the front we will go to this valve. The valves are the only things I'm keeping in the cam locks because those are the most expensive parts. Everything else is getting replaced because this was a sprayer, and for sure there are remnants of chemical and everything in there, so when we're planting we don't want to be spraying right next to the seed with a herbicide that could potentially kill the seed. We are going to be replacing most of this stuff in here. This valve sits right about there, usually like that, so bear with me. And then this hose attaches from there and goes up to the pump right here. And then this is here, this short hose is here so that you can switch outlets on the pump, and then you can fill this tanker with the pump that's on here. Here's a little progress report. Got my new 25-foot unload hose for the tank, fill hose for the sprayer on. Got the 2 new fittings on. We're gonna use that hose to jump between legs underneath the tank and then feed the motor up front. Not the motor, the pump. I have all these new fittings, this new fitting on, took it off the old hose, and then all we have to do now is we have to get, I think, a 3-inch hole saw to widen the holes in the bottom of the tank because we couldn't get the same style tank fitting as what we had before. So we have to drill the holes out to match the new ones and then put the new ones in and just cut that yellow hose to length, and then fab up some new brackets for the new hose because the new hose will wrap all the way around the back and come up this side. So that's how far the new one comes. So I will have to figure out how I want to fasten that there. We'll put a little hook coming out here to put the hose onto for a cradle, and then also in the back we'll put some cradles on and cut these bolts off. And then this hose, it's extent of its routing that's needed to be done. Here's the one. We'll make one just like that on the other side. And then on this side it routes through this channel to the pump. So just like that. My original plan for this hose was to come all the way up to this frame and just have like a cam lock cap screwed into this, but it's not gonna reach that far. After a long day of hard work, a couple more trips to town, and one more trip to town needed in the morning. I'm showing you what we got done so far. Rear fill is installed right here. That is plumbed into the first leg. First leg is plumbed into the second leg right there, and that's as far as it goes. I ran out of hose barbs. I need one more to go off of that leg or that T, and then I can put the hose on that connects up to here. That's all the plumbing that's got to be done. I started on the management of this hose. I have the bracket welded on here. It's hot, I'm not going to touch it. So I got that one, and tomorrow I'll get two more built there, and I got to get paint for those, one hose barb. This is what the drains are in the bottom of the tank. I'm going to get a plug that's this size thread. So I need two of those, and then I got to get a jack too. And then I believe that is everything. Well, it's before lunch, and this project is completely done. We just gotta wait for the paint to dry. New jack, got the new tube welded on, looks all nice and spiffy. Got that painted. I went and just tacked these bolts on so that they can't move, and so the hose will go in there as a guide and go around the back. Might as well use what's there, that way I don't have to make something new. Got drain plugs in, and I believe that was all there was. Oh wait, got this hose on as well. Put a little hanger on it so you can easily turn the valve without fighting it. Very nice. So this is all done. Just got to service the motor, which I will get the stuff to do that, because I think I don't know what kind of oil you put in this, straight 30 or a special 4-stroke, so I will get that serviced, and then it will be completely ready to rock and roll. But now it's just tidying up, put all the tools away, all the miscellaneous hardware that I had to get out for that, and had to buy a new hole saw because the holes in the bottom of the tank weren't big enough for those new legs. And then put all the power tools away, get the batteries charging, and be ready for the next project. Got the nurse tank done and out. Got the shop somewhat cleaned up. Dad brought the Ranger in. He's fixing some tires on that. He had to run and get some supplies to do that. But I got the 4020 outside idling. That's got an electrical problem. It won't start unless you jump it off the starter. So we're gonna get that in once the Ranger comes out. We're gonna back the 4960 in over on that bay, and then bring the 4020 in right here. And that way I got plenty of project to work on. I'm gonna try and get that electrical issue sorted tonight because Dad has to use that to grind feed tomorrow. But while I'm waiting, I got the 44 weaseled in here in a kind of interesting manner, mainly because we got this light shining down in the back. I'm gonna get these outlets rebuilt tonight. Not really gonna walk you guys through the whole thing because the Grove conversions have pretty good instructions with them. So if you guys want to get these, you can get them. They're by Wapsie Innovations, the Grove conversion. They make 3 different kits, one for the 10 series, and then 20 through 40 series, and 50 through 70 series. So you guys can pick them up if you want. I'm going to get started. It comes with, like I said, detailed instructions, so you guys shouldn't have any problems. here is the finished product. Remote 1, remote 2, both of them done. You got these dust caps that you flip up and they stay up so that you can get your hose in. Now these, you just push your hose in, they latch automatically, and then when you want to take them out, you push and pull really fast, and that's how you get them out. So that is those completely done. Now I did run into issues with these arms coming out. I don't know if it's just because these are the update arms or what, but right where they narrow there, I had issues with pretty much every single one of them wanting to bend as soon as I started trying to get it out, and it just resulted in a real pain. You can see where my punches burred that top all up, but your guys' mileage may vary if you're putting this kit on, but I think these are gonna do really well. Now what the big difference is between these kits and the factory Deere, if I still have the O-rings up here. Factory Deere O-rings were a flat, like a rectangular O-ring, and they sat in those seals. Well, as soon as those O-rings got hot, they expanded, and it doesn't take very much expansion at all before that rubber is before there's a space between that rubber and the metal on the barrel. So what this company did is they put round O-rings in each place instead of rectangular ones, and that makes a world of difference. I personally know somebody who has a 42, I think it's 4230, with these on it, or it might be a 4240, and he's had them on it over a year now, and they have not leaked at all, which when we put these on, we went through, rebuilt, put all new O-rings and everything in, and they were leaking by the end of the week. It was very disappointing, and we did make a video on doing that. We made a video on the 4960 ones, but these ones were done the same week. The 4960 doesn't leak as bad as this one. There's one remote that does, especially when it runs the vacuum on the planter, and so we are hopefully gonna put these updates on at least that one remote that does leak bad. We got the 4020 fixed. It was sitting here for some reason. So the way that starter works is it's a 12 volt starter, and you run a lead from your main power off your batteries up to a solenoid and then back down to the control stud on the starter. And what would happen is we would hit the button to engage that solenoid, and we would lose all voltage to the main lead on the solenoid. We messed with it. We took the two off and tried jumping the starter with those wires, and it was still doing the same thing. As soon as you touch those two wires together, you lost all voltage. So there was some sort of short somewhere in that wire for some reason. It's really weird. I've never had that happen before. It was brand new wire, brand new ends. Weird. So I went and bought 2 new rolls of wire this morning, came back, ran 2 new leads, and everything worked completely fine. So hopefully it continues to work fine and I don't have to deal with that again. If we really wanted to get fancy with it, we could put a new radio in it. We get one station right now with it, and it's very iffy. It's the factory radio with the tuner knob that moves the needle back and forth. So she's old and it's been in there a while, and it definitely doesn't work right. Ideally, we'd put the radio in it that we put in this one last year. We put the radio in from Shoop that's Bluetooth Connect and everything in this tractor. So this one has a really nice stereo in it, and it actually has nicer speakers in it than most of our daily drive trucks. So that's unnecessary, but it's nice. We just pretty much have to put the cowl back on around the steering column, and then change the fluids and filters. I think the oil cooler needed to be blown out on this, if I remember right. No, that's that one. The oil cooler's got to be pressure washed. This one looks pretty good. If you remember last year, we had the whole front end tore down on this. Fuel tank was out, oil cooler was out, radiator was out. We replaced any lines that needed to be replaced or looked like they were about to go. I had the hydraulic pump out, Went around, did the O-rings and all the little plugs all the way around it, and I believe she is leaking already. I don't know if that is the pump that's leaking, but there is definitely something up there. I am not going to tear that apart again unless we have the money to put a new pump in it, because if it is a pump, I feel a lot more comfortable just putting a new one in, not doing the whole tear it down again, because it obviously, something's not quite right there. I got all of my trash in there from the previous year to clean out, wash the windows, same thing with this one. I gotta tidy some of my planting stuff up. I have an iPad mounting stuff in there that I don't actually use, and I have all my manuals for the planter and the ag leader monitor and all that stuff. Me and Dad pretty much know how to use the ag leader monitor well, so I don't need that manual in there anymore, so I'll take that out. Actually, Dad never ran the planter, so I probably should leave that in there, because we have a lot of there's going to be a lot of planting going on this spring, and so we may be swapping in and out, especially with me having to do the spraying. I'll probably be jumping into the sprayer more often. So yeah. But now I gotta go through, wipe all my tools down, put them away before I can move on to my next project. I got the tools from the 44 on this side and the tools from the 4020 on this side. Those are clean. Electrical problems, don't get your tools messy, but hydraulic oil problems, yeah, they're nasty. Look at that. I don't know what it is about this tractor, but it has a lot of dirt that gets in the cab somehow. I don't know why, but you can probably see it. I don't know if you can see it very well, but all the gauges are completely covered. The cowl looks like that. And all the side panels. I changed out the door seals in it last year, or year before, and that didn't make a huge difference. The window seals seem to all be intact. Every once in a while that lower section will open up, but we keep that latched tight. I did the seals on that too, so I don't know what it is. Just a really difficult cab to keep clean. I am short a hydraulic filter, so I'm going to get one tomorrow. That is this one done. Oil's changed, fuel filter's changed. Just got to do that hydraulic filter, like I said. But with that, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Stay tuned. Next video should be working on tillage equipment and might even get the grain drill in here. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.